Hello and welcome to The Best Of. On The Best Of, we focus on the best in the areas of business, entertainment, sports, and the community. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may recall, we have been dedicating our time to Coach Rick's winners and bringing your A game. This week, we have a very special guest that's going to help us as we focus on ways to help our young athletes. Our guest today is none other than Ms. Carol Sherrod. Welcome to the show, Ms. Sherrod.
Thank you.
We're excited because we're going to be talking about Show Me the Money. And we know that it's not how much you make, but it's how much you save and how much you invest. So we consider it an honor and a pleasure for you to be able to join us on the show and to be able to really help some young people and some older people as well as we talk about finance. You know, we've heard so many things like money is the root of all evil and all those things, but it's not so. But hopefully, folks will get a much better understanding by sitting down and talking with you and with Coach Ricks here. So we're looking forward to it. So much for me. Let's talk about you and go ahead and get this financial ball rolling, if you will. So tell us some things about you, Ms. Sherrod.
Well, I've been in this business for now 27 years. I started fresh out of college. Just a couple of little things. I, started out basically minoring in business and had not planned on focusing in this aspect of business. As I tell people, was also had an interest in music. So I majored in music with a minor in theater and dance, and minored in business so I can count my millions. So I wouldn't get messed out of my money like some of the other people that we've heard in the entertainment business, get tricked out of their money. And I even had some financial issues of my own in reference to 27 years ago, filed for bankruptcy and everything right out of college. So it was real interesting when God told me, this is what I want you to do for a living. And I remember thinking to myself, God, do you remember I filed for bankruptcy about a year ago and you want me to help other people with their money? And, it was just so clear. It was as though you are a recovering alcoholic.
Wow.
You've been in the financial ditch, and so you can help other people not to make those same mistakes.
Wow.
So as I said, for 27 years, this is what I have been doing, and just helping people to basically save and to invest their money. And of course you are going to spend some. We're not saying don't spend anything,
right,
but just make sure whatever it is that you spend money on is things that you may save for. You know what I'm saying? If you need another car, if you want to buy a television, don't go to Rent-A-Center and pay $100 a week for something that you could pay for if you just took the time to save. And you may do, it's actually like $25 a week or something in Rent-A-Center, and you do that for 12 months. In that amount of time, you could have bought 3 televisions. So we're not saying don't spend anything, but also, think about the fact that there is going to be a winter time in your life. And that winter time may be when you retire, you may get injured and have to take some time off, which is something that happened to me a couple of years ago. Things of that nature, and be prepared. As well as enjoying your life now.
I think you and I are going to have a series because just in your opening statements, it lets me know that
I threw a lot at you, huh?
Well, and that's good. That's good. I believe in people having a full toolkit.
Right.
My wife and I provide professional development, business consulting, and business coaching. And the beauty of it for us is we realize that we come prepared with a full toolkit. And boy, I think we've met our match because you have definitely got a full toolkit. Well, one of the things I would like to step back and say is I appreciate your transparency. Also, I must say too, as a former corporate leader, you are doing what we would refer to as talking the walk. Because you've actually lived some of the scenarios that you're having to share with people. So that's really awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, to remind you that we are meeting and talking with Ms. Carol Sherrod, and we're talking about Show Me the Money. Ms. Sherrod is a professional financial investment specialist, and we are here to have her to help Coach Rick's and Coach Rick's winners, our young people that we're focusing on helping them to live a more fulfilling life. Some things that we do want to remind you of is with Coach Rick's winners, we commonly refer to our products as the ABCs, if you will. The A's being bring your A game, and that really focuses on attitude, academics, association, your anchors, first and foremost, because those are going to be the mentors and the people that you select to work with on an ongoing basis. Then we're going to talk about Plan B. Ms. Sherrod, you are a part of that Plan B, and with many other folks that we have developed relationships with and that we plan to develop relationships with. And then the C is that career transition component. Our focus is to help young people to move from ultimately an amateur status to a professional status. And then for those folks that we are fortunate enough to work with who are professionals, to help them to transition out so that they will have a longer, more fulfilling life. So that's what we're really excited about. And boy, I tell you, it's good to find somebody else who's equally as excited about what they do. Now, what I do want to do is to make sure that with the parents and with hopefully some other parents and student athletes that are out there that really have financial questions, they can get in contact with you. So ladies and gentlemen, you can reach Ms. Sherrod at 901-569-7419. That's 901-569-7419. Once again, Show Me the Money. Tell us some ways that that you're currently connected with the broader community, because we do want to find out how people may be able to get in contact with you, or maybe some of the venues that you participate in to share your financial literacy.
Well, I mean, I do several workshops, and they can be secular workshops or Christian workshops. As a matter of fact, last week I just got booked to do an AARP workshop in Sanatopia, Mississippi.
All right, don't be stepping on my toes now. What's all right?
Well, I mean, AARP, they have had a contract with New York, which is who I work with, to do the guaranteed trust, life as it relates to the guaranteed lifetime income, so we can do that, as well as being able to do life coverage for people that may not be as insurable as some of our more healthier people. So they just kind of asked me to come in and just sort of focus on that. And for that you need to be 50 and over. So I mean that's going to cover a small group. Know that. Yeah. You gotta do, that's a small group for your audience, but you have to be 50 and over. Yeah. But yeah, there are some people that may not qualify medically. We have some guarantee issues, type coverage and things of that nature. But those that can qualify, medically, then they just need to look at our standard coverage and just sort of looking at using that for business purposes, tax purposes, and things of that nature.
Okay, that sounds great. We're going to do a few things. This is a good time, too, because I am really excited about this book that I found out, How to Be a Millionaire God's Way, The Secret to Financial Success. So there's a name at the bottom of this. Let's see. It looks like Carol Yvonne Sherrod. Do you have anything to do with this book?
It is a book that I wrote, and I mean, it's basically consists of, like I was sharing with you, just some of the financial hardships that I went through. And, I was kind of hesitant about that because when I first started writing this book, it was simply on how people can just be more financially successful. The title kind of came at that time from the show, How to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
And they had all kinds of How to Be a Millionaire shows. And I'm like, well, that's interesting, but there's got to be more to this being a millionaire stuff. Because we know Bernie Madoff was a millionaire. I mean, my goodness, he was a billionaire. Yeah. But we do want to do that in a much better fashion than tricking people, out of their money. And also, when we look at how to be a millionaire God's way, we're not, it's not necessarily meant for each individual to have $1 million in their pocket.
Yeah.
But for some people, being a millionaire could be success in their eyesight. That could be having a job, having a small home that is paid for, having a car that is paid for, and enjoying the family, you know what I'm saying? Not having to wonder, how am I going to keep a roof over our heads, or how am I going to keep doing this, or how am I going to keep this? When are they going to come and direct the car? That can stress people out beyond belief, and we realize how that's happened in 2009 and 2010 when the economy fell.
Right.
People were throwing themselves off, off of bridges and off of roofs, just simply because they could not keep the bills paid.
Absolutely.
But to be a millionaire with some people is having financial independence,
right.
financial security, and knowing, every week where, how bills are going to be paid. So that's kind of what it is. God may have in some people's hearts to be billionaires.
Right.
But you heard the term, I feel like $1 million.
Yeah.
That may not always be money.
Absolutely.
Trust me.
Yeah.
So there are just some basic principles in there that I share with people in reference to how to be financially independent in a way that is, morally right, that is a blessing to others and acceptable to God.
Yeah.
Bottom line.
That's really great. And you mentioned about people saying, I feel like $1 million. I've been having this kind of conversation for the past week or week and a half with people just coming to me and saying, why is it that you're just so happy? Why is it that you're so energetic? And I know now at this young age of 57 that it's a gift. So I'm excited about it. But the thing that we really are striving to do with Coach Rick's Winners is to have those folks to feel like $1 million, but to feel comfortable and to manage themselves and their personalities, their activities, etc. Right. So as it relates to really people coming into wealth, if you will, one of the things that I realized here is that you talk with people about making money. You talk with the educational process of how you do that in simple terms, but you also talk with them about strategies on how to multiply their money. Could you talk about that just a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you can't just take all your money and bury it in the backyard. Right. Okay, you're going to have to do a little bit better than that. And we all know that at this time, savings are not doing squat either, 0.0002 or something like that.
Right.
So there are some things out there that are guaranteed and that are tax deferred that you can put your monies in, and you can make a decent interest rate in this day and time. And also get a guarantee, because after things kind of fell apart in 2009 and 2010, and people, of course, the stock market went down, then people were looking at ways that they could get guaranteed.